you have anything you
I
want to
don't
talk
know,
about?
just,
Okay.
I'll go over some of the things that working on, some of the things that we'll be working on. Go back in August after the last meeting, we definitely had a good representation in our celebration day with the healthy living, healthy working. And we had our healthy food and honoring all of our volunteers that showed up and those that didn't. One of the things that makes Lincoln County special is those people who do volunteer, that clean up the roads, or whether they serve on committees and all those things. But we have a great number of people who really get out and work and do things that they believe in, whether it be the crime watch or auxiliary deputies like we had out here this evening and checking the people coming in. Those people are just volunteers. That's people that usually just do a lot of work and really don't expect too many pats on the back, but they get out and work and they get things done. But that's what makes Lincoln County a special place, and it definitely helps keep it clean and more protected, I think, from vandals and things like that. On the 21st day of August, we had a work session at Beach Fork Park with the Lincoln EMS Medical Service Group. Basically, the 4 of the 5 board members were present, and their administrative staff, which is like 5 people that work either full-time or part-time. And basically, we had not looked at the plan as we discussed here previously for 10 years of how we were doing and what needed to change and those kind of things. So we met and talked about every aspect and phase of the services that's provided by Lincoln EMS. And it seemed to be that a few things rose up higher than others. And one of them is probably expected, but you may not think about it in terms of what it takes to become certified as a EMS provider and the different levels and how important it is to stay up to date. Now, the only time you really think about that is when you cross on that board and they put you in the ambulance, and you hope that those people there know what they're doing, not just pretending like they do. But what we found out listening to all the reports and concerns was that the education factor used to not be even there. They depended on, going somewhere else to find out what needed to be done and those things. But what Lincoln EMS has done is trained some people to be trainers and to have a room set up in the new building they bought out there to make it basically an education center. In the, not this last levy that was approved, in a previous letter, we had levied, we had money designated for training, and they have been able to use that money and save some of it. And basically what they want to do is to not only to continue the training, but to expand and have a better training center, because in order to get people locally to get involved in the providing services, what they have expressed is if we can train our own people, they're more likely to stay and get the job done. So they're trying to really get training, make it as an important piece of the program out there. Of course, always when you look at reorganizing something that's been going for 10 years, although you always squeeze a little here and squeeze a little there, but you always look at, are you paying the employees all that the system or the program or the whatever can afford? And they've asked us to look at that as a board and see if we can come up with a new adopted pay scale. And come back, the question was, well, what can we just got the same amount of money we've always had. Now, how do we take the same amount of money and move it around is the question. And one of the things that we came up with, cut down overtime. Because overtime is good for the person if they're able to do the overtime as far as pay. It certainly increases the end results. But basically the team felt like that overtime would save enough money to pay more people a little bit better salary, a little more hourly rate, and they can still make things work. That's just where we're at with that. Of course, better equipment was also a thing that's needed this day and time, as far as getting people particularly heart patients and things, of having them taken care of properly when the ambulance arrives at the home. One of the other things that came up for discussion, and this will be something we'll talk about later, but in the, I think it's, I will get these numbers in Station 70, some of you guys may know, out of Hearts, I think that's the number, but anyway, it's the ambulance authority that sits on the 14-mile mountain that serves the Ranger Hearts area. When we reorganized back 10 years ago, we basically closed the Ranger station in order to save money and sort of put it in between. And we bought that building there. It was a building that had been other businesses, but nothing for a while. So the commission basically assisted the Hearts EMS, because they had some money and trying to get this thing going and give them their own place. Well, the building belongs to the county commission, and I don't know how many dollars we have in it, but what we did talk about at the planning session was, is there some way that we can, as a commission, get that building to Lincoln EMS, so it'd be their building. It would help the commission, I think, because basically we pay to keep it up, we pay this and that. So we're trying to figure out, that's something that they're talking about, and we're going to talk about as a commission. On the 28th of August, met with Dr. Smith, Lauren Smith. He's our doctor for the health department, and also he serves as chairperson of the Farmland Protection Program. We certainly have some issues at the health department we're trying to resolve. One of the things that came up was there's one of those things that I assume we have cameras here, we have cameras across the street that watch everything. We don't have any at the health department. I didn't realize that until we met over and talked the other day, but one of those things we talked about, maybe we could, and I got with Alan Holder to see what we might be able to do, because they did have a break-in, and it's one of those things that where we have the people maybe doing some work, and a day or two later, the window's left open in the back or something, and you miss something. So we felt like that needed to be done. As to farmland protection, we believe that we're at the point, Rick serves on that board, and about ready to take our first farm into the protective type program. And basically, it's a situation where that if certain rules are followed, regulations, that we can preserve farms is the idea. And anytime there's a sale of property in the county, then there's a fee collected off of that and goes directly to the Farmland Protection Board to have money. And there's state money, federal money to match to help make this possible. Basically, people who participate in this are able to preserve their farm and still live on it. So we have one, we think, about ready to move into basically what Mr. Smith said. The thing that also was brought up in the discussion that Dr. Smith, of course, is retired and no one of those volunteers. What he does for farmland protection is all volunteer. He spends lots of time working at and staying focused on getting educated on, as well as some other people on the board. But we are at maybe a crossroads. Dr. Smith said, just for our thoughts at the commission, that it may be that we're at the point that we may have to maybe employ somebody, some, to help just keep things going. You know, board members change, as people change, and Dr. Smith keeps telling me that the rules is I can't serve much longer. And I said, I know, but don't tell me about it. And, but it is true. And, so that's something else we may have to look at, some way of having some clerical assistance. Just something he brought up, and I told him I would put that on the table. On the 31st day of August, I met with a couple from out of Hearts, Billy and Fraulein Adkins, and basically concerns a street closing that occurred back in the 80s, 90s, and they come to the commission at that time and voted to close the street. And it seems to be, it's one of those things that, well, the street's closed, but the state, I guess a letter was sent to the State Department of Highways asking them to work with them in getting this closed, and who is going to own it, who's going to maintain it, and whatever. Well, nobody can find where that ever followed up with back there in '89 or where it was. So we met and talked about that, trying to figure out what we can do, can't do, and we're going to continue to see if we can resolve it, because they attached the map, and it's pretty clear that the intent of the commission back then was to close it. Nobody has been using it, but nobody seems to own it or take care of it either. Let's see, September. Part of the good part, I guess. I did attend Governor Tomlin's reception on the 4th. At that, we had other people from Lincoln there, Paul Smith from Tri-River, Dwight Coder of Southwestern, Dennis Lawson from DOH, and Delegate Josh Stowers. We certainly had some music and good food, and got to share in the 33rd anniversary of Governor Tomlin and the First Lady. Somebody had a little cake there for him, and so we were there in that, plus supporting him in his governor's race. Tomorrow, we'll be going to the Boone County Hatfield-McCoy Center, basically to meet with a landowner that owns the property off of Route 3 that goes into Ivy Branch. And he is interested in doing some investment, wants to talk to us about that. So the Hatfield-McCoy people and Mr. Burton and I, and invited Michael if he can work it in, but it's sort of hard for him, but certainly one of those things that we believe that that's ready to really move, and people are ready to spend some money on both ends of it, it appears. This week from this Saturday, the 15th, we have our turkey shoot at the Mud River Shooting Range, begin at 9. We'll have food and prizes there. The 21st, we'll be attending the Region 2 Planning Development meeting in Huntington, where I serve as chair of that group. The 24th, basically got a call from, I guess it's Ray Hall's office, really. It was from a representative of, I guess indirectly his office. I'm not sure how it was, but anyway, Congressman Ray Hall will be in Lincoln County coming up the 24th day of September with some news about the Lower Mud River Water Project. So going down Mud River. So he will be here to talk about that. We don't know yet exactly what time or where, but he did say the 24th he wanted to come by. Of course, that'd be an election year. I'm sure he'll be anxious to be here. One other item I'll read here just to, for information's sake, and a concern that I have, and I did share it with Michael, and he may have some comments on it too, but in a recent gathering in the Harts area of Lincoln County, I was asked a question by the group that may need to have some future study by the legislature or someone. So the concern is that Harts High community, the old Harts School community, for students in grades 9 through 12 attend Chattanooga Regional High School in Logan County without an official voice at the table of the Logan County Board of Education. Basically, it's my opinion that this issue is a valid one of those people who live in the Harts community and their kids attend Chattanooga Regional High School. What they are seeking is, if our kids attend school up there, should we not have a board member that represents us, or at least a chance to vote on those board members, just for Board of Education, nothing else. But they would like to be able to, if the law could be changed to have a regional high school and those kids cross the line to go up there, why should they not have a place at the table to talk about school issues? Should they not have a right to vote on those people who, right now they have a right to vote on Lincoln County Board of Education because their kids are in school up through 8th grade. Why should they not have a right to vote on board members that run in Logan County in that part of the Lincoln County where those kids attend Logan County schools? So in this discussion, I told them I'd certainly bring this up at the commission meeting and that encourage them to take a little more in-depth look at it, get the community themselves involved. Of course, this is a couple of nephews of mine, and they thought, well, they just talked to me about it, and you know, we can figure this out, but, it's really a serious issue, and I told them I would work with them and encourage them and try to make the issue known. And I mentioned to Michael, he said, well, they'd already approached him on it, so, Michael, you may wanna add something on it.
Just basically what you said, I mean, they approached me, and it's a good, valid point, I guess. I mean, I would already went through that issue of having an older child to go through the Logan County school system, with several issues came up, and really had no voice, no opinion, and, you know, and I think it is a good thing that we need to, check in on, or, I mean, if I want to send my children up there, shouldn't I have a say-so in, you know, the people that's on the board, or what have you, on that school-related stuff? But right now, we have no say-so. And I think it's something that we really need to check in on.
Would you be in favor of us, as a commission, sending a letter to all of our Charleston delegation, Senate, and the House people to bring this to their attention and maybe encourage them to have a meeting or something in the community to address this issue?
Yeah, I'd be in favor of it.
We'll do that. Okay, that's all I have. Anything else from anyone? All right. Yes,
Mr. McKinney,
yes.
you remember a year or so ago back, we had a meth education program
Yes.
over McCorkle.
Mhm.
And we had the deputies from Boone County come
Right.
down and put it on. Well, this year I talked to Chief Hensley and Sheriff Vickers, and we have tentatively set a date for October the 20th to have another one of those. And we would like to invite the county commission and the public and all the crime watch units to attend.
In October the 20th at McCorkle.
At McCorkle, that's a Saturday,
And what, did you say what time? I was right.
6 p.m.
I just do one thing at once. Did the people from Boone County put it on before?
Yeah, but we're not want to try to involve them this time. We
Okay.
want to, you know, keep it in the
Right,
county.
that's what I assumed he's trying to.
And we kind of redo the program and put Lincoln County on instead of Boone County.
Okay. All right. Anything else from anyone? If not, take a motion to adjourn at 7:30.
I make a motion.
Stand adjourned.